I've been looking forward to talk about this mod again for a long time, and the wait was worth it. And honestly, I'm starting to feel like it's one of my favorite things to cover on the channel so far. Now, the first time I talked about this mod, it was in the video I made about the fan projects for Malicious Bunny's Trollge Files. The second time was a standalone video, and as this is the third time, I think it would be best to help everybody bring up to speed, so as much as I would like you to watch my other videos, I'm not going to force you. So let's catch up with things this way. What's Trollge Files X Omori? It's a fan mod by Gerber 2006 that has Faraway Town, one of the settings of Omori, and the cast of Omori, dealing with an outbreak of Trollges and all hell breaking loose in more ways than one. What's Omori? It's an indie RPG game by Omocat exploring dark themes while playing in a colorful imaginary world. Generally, the morals and messages being about the effects on the minds and lives of yourself and people around you by hiding, burying, or ignoring varying degrees of mental trauma and not opening up to those close to you regardless of how bad it might make things. What are Trollges? Trollges come from a horror twist on Trollface and other similar rage comic memes that used to be more prevalent on the internet, typically taking that same rage comic format to tell horror stories of varying types. As it's an online horror thing like SCP Foundation or The Backrooms, there are a lot of variations in stories surrounding Trollges, like the Trollge Files. What is the Trollge Files? The Trollge Files, also known as the Blue Balls Incident in its earlier form, is a fan mod of Friday Night Funkin' by Malicious Bunny where boyfriend and girlfriend work for an organization called the Trollge Containment Foundation, name self-explanatory, that deals with people mutated into undead monsters because of Trollge protein cells infecting them by using special microphones that destroy the infected cells while singing, or just generally weaken them. Presumably, the TCF has other ways and techniques, but this way the game was still a rhythm game. Now, this culminated in one of the most memorable villains I and many others have seen in recent times, as well as a very well executed plot twist and ending. As I mentioned, different people create different explanations for what Trollges exactly are and where they come from, but Malicious Bunny's contribution to the meme became one of the more popular Friday Night Funkin' mods for a lot of well-deserved reasons, to the point of inspiring a number of other fan creations based off her work. Now that all brings us back to the further adventures of boyfriend and girlfriend in Gerber's mod, and where things stand in this mod's story. After the events of Blue Balls Incident, and I'll call it that to keep things a bit more clear as to which game I'm referencing, and because I'm a bit juvenile, boyfriend still has both the mental and physical scars of stopping a literal world-ending threat. He gets called out of retirement, with some persuading from girlfriend, to deal with new Trollge sightings in Faraway Town. By the time boyfriend and girlfriend arrive, a couple Trollges have already made their move, and more agents are called in to help stem the spreading infection. Basil is attacked first, and boyfriend is taken out of commission early on while defending Sunny, and loses his voice. Aubrey is puppeted for a while before girlfriend breaks her free, and both Kel and Hero wind up becoming infected before Nene rescues Kel, and Kel joins Pico in saving Hero. Meanwhile, boyfriend is dealing with depression creeping in as his voice is still messed up and he's beating himself up over not being there for everyone else. This culminates in him finding Sunny infected and transformed into a Trollge, and boyfriend gets injured in a failed attempt to rescue Sunny on his own. He's left with the news that Sunny was deemed incurable, while Basil has a vision of boyfriend and girlfriend disappearing before Legion himself returns to destroy the world. Legion being the main villain of the Blue Balls Incident. This prompts Basil to run away, and a sinister figure ends Act 1 by telling us Basil hasn't been heard from since then, while the same figure is making sure the visions will come to pass. This was the end of Act 1, and I'll say here that at this point Trollge Files X Omori begins to make a shift. The first part of Act 2 can generally be described as the stage is set and the characters are introduced, time to get the story really going. The remaining friends discover that Mari, Sunny's older sister and a dear friend to them all that died about 4 years prior to this, has had her body go missing from the gravesite, and girlfriend heads into the woods to find some clues. This is because boyfriend's still recovering, and all the Omori characters are too hesitant, for varying reasons, to go face what's going on with Mari. She discovers Mari and releases her spirit from the control of the Ringmaster, the trolls orchestrating the events going on. While in the end this first part of Act 2 was comparatively short, the last 2 songs of the story mode left one hell of an impact that definitely fed my excitement in seeing what happens next. And while this summary is going to unavoidably gloss over things for the sake of expediency, understand that my last video on this mod went into great detail about why these 2 songs, and the events occurring in them, were not just impactful to the mod as a whole, but were very effective in also having a sort of message tied to them as well. Now what occurs is, while girlfriend was away from boyfriend's side, Ringmaster sicked another Trollge on boyfriend. Digging into his psyche and doubts, it caused boyfriend to finally give in to his despair and depression and end it all, leaving girlfriend to sing a dirge over his body before she presumably took it with her and disappeared. On the other hand, however, girlfriend rescuing Mari's spirit allowed Mari to aid Sunny inside his mind, and not just destroy the same Trollge that got to boyfriend, but also completely cure him of his infection and free him to rejoin his friends. It's here that we finally catch up to the Part 2 update of Act 2, and if you want to play this yourself, I recommend so, support the creators after all, then no, it isn't a separate file on GameJolt, but instead an update to the entire Act 2 download. Now normally I would get into the continuing story, but in order to discuss what happens next, I need to bring up one of the new Freeplay Songs. This song happens between Chapter 6 and 7, according to Gerber on his YouTube upload for the song. Generally speaking, for the entirety of the mod, Ringmaster has been doing his best to keep everybody distracted from finding him and discovering his real plans, by sending out all the Trollges you've encountered to keep running interference by causing chaos. However, Mari wasn't the only one resurrected from the dead to distract everybody.
You heard it too, right?
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, come on, guys. Probably just some animal or whatever. Cassandra? I thought you died. Oh, shit.
He also brought back Cassandra from Pico's school to distract the group of Pico, Nene, and Darnell. If you never played the game, Pico's school is one of the earlier hits on the website Newgrounds that made Pico the mascot on the site for a good bit of years. Cassandra initiated an incident at Pico's educational facility, causing Pico to have to grab a gun and fight back with Cassandra as the final boss. So yeah, after having to go through that, Pico, Nene, and Darnell are very concerned with her being back around. Now this might actually be different from what's said in sources like the wiki site or something. However, the body language and facial expressions of Cassandra suggest that she's confused about being there and not really wanting to start anything again. Now in the original Friday Night Funkin', Pico has become a mercenary and is hired by girlfriend's parents, Daddy Dearest and Mommy Nearest, to actually kill boyfriend because they don't want boyfriend and girlfriend to be together. A recent update for Friday Night Funkin' revealed Nene and Darnell are also working as mercs together with Pico and are wondering why he didn't complete the job with boyfriend. To the point that Pico actually defended boyfriend after Daddy Dearest caused boyfriend and girlfriend to go down in a plane crash in the middle of a war zone. Now personally, I don't like the characterization of Pico and the others being mercenaries for hire like this, but that's for a video on the full release version of Friday Night Funkin' whenever that comes out. The important thing is that Daddy Dearest hired Pico, Nene, and Darnell in the actual game. In Trollge Files X Omori, Pico and his pals are working for the Trollge Containment Foundation alongside boyfriend and girlfriend while Daddy Dearest makes an appearance to try and actually help Boyfriend regain his singing voice and confidence. Now, with all the pieces in play, I believe the best way to lead into this next update is to just play the entirety of the cutscene and the song it leads into in full, starting with the cutscene. Because as we're about to see, a lot has improved on the mod, but we're about to turn a major corner in the story as well.
I don't know if this is over, but if it isn't, I will make sure that you are safe. I will protect you from all these monsters.
My sweet little daughter. When I last saw you, you were so cheerful. Even if you couldn't be with your lover, you were still able to enjoy life as it was. But now you aren't here. You ran away. Oh, girlfriend, what did those monsters do to you this time?
Now, the last time I talked about this mod, I had hopes that Girlfriend would get a sort of family reunion with her parents, and we would see something awesome out of it. Well, it turns out the awesome thing we were going to see is an improvement in quality. And while that can generally be expected, it's always nice to see that creators like Gerber aren't just sitting around telling themselves, good enough, I've no need to improve. Secondly, it's pretty clear that after saving the entire world from Legion and rescuing Girlfriend from her transformation, Boyfriend finally earned their respect. And as Daddy Dearest says, he won't let those monsters hurt her again. So he probably paid Pico, Nene, and Darnell to go join the TCF and help keep things safe. And beyond all the stuff around Boyfriend, Omori, and all the characters, I find there to be something quite a bit terrifying that the Trollges are such a big thing that the Trollge Containment Foundation actually has access to public emergency systems. And I have to wonder if this is actually some sort of indication that Faraway Town is under some sort of lockdown by this point. Now, as we go into this next song, Daddy and Mommy, both of them powerful demons in the official lore of Friday Night Funkin', are getting together to search out for their missing daughter and presumably are taking the time in the song to discuss their next course of action. And again, I'm going to let the entire song play because it's incredible how it sets the tone of the story going forward and shows us that a major corner is being turned. This will be about 3.5 minutes. Please take the time to see it for yourself. I legitimately got chills when I first witnessed this song over on Gerber's channel when he first released the playable version over there. And no matter how many times I hear it, listen to it, play it in the game, knowing what's coming, I still feel a little bit of it. But because Gerber is showing us the world starting to end around everybody as the story continues, it gives us a window into something the Blue Balls incident didn't show us. In the Blue Balls incident, the world was taken over and Legion's plan was put into motion, while Boyfriend was unconscious or in some kind of stasis. Therefore, we didn't get to see the horror of a Trollge taking over the world. We just know it ended and Boyfriend was all that was left. In this game, we see the world ending as it happens, and how it was presented in the song was very well done, especially if you didn't expect it coming. The way the tone of the song makes it clear the building dread of the nightmare to come is one thing, especially with using sadness from Blue Ball's incident to do it. But the break into the tone shift toward the end makes it change into a sort of triumphant victory for the villain. Which only brings the question, what happens next?
Kel? Kel? What's up? Oh, it's nothing. It's just, we've been looking for him for a long while, haven't we?
We cut to Kel and Hero exploring the woods, searching for Basil and discussing a little history the friends share between each other. Apparently this is our indication that the events of the game have been going on for about a month by this point, reflecting by the dates on the missing posters. They discover a cabin that Basil is set up in, and just like moments from the actual Omori game, he's in the middle of a psychotic break wielding a set of gardening shears. Of a sort, I guess. In any case, Basil is not just freaking out over his fear of losing Sunny like he did in Omori proper, but also going further off the deep end from the visions he was getting. And he's realizing his visions of the end of the world are coming true. Apparently, he's aware to some extent that 3 different game universes are mashing together, so it's up to Kel and Hero to calm him down, with Hero apparently stepping in front of Kel to block a swing of the axe at one point. Now, Hero is still pretty bad off from his infection as a Trollge, and I'm assuming he has some extra durability left over as a side effect. If Basil even did swing the axe, it's kind of implied, but it lines up with how things went in Omori with his gardening shears. But another thing it could have been was just him readying the axe, but Hero stepping forward got him to back down. It's possible, if not plausible, Basil has been singing and using the axe to fend off other Trollges during these weeks, if not other people, and the same tactics not working against Hero, who still looks a bit like a Trollge, might be freaking him out. This culminates with the end of the song, where Sunny arrives with a very well done reference to Omori's endgame. For context, Basil and Sunny both have visions of something, a manifestation of their fears and guilt over something the mod has hinted at plenty of times, and in at least one Freeplay song featuring Radis was explicitly spelled out, but in the context of the friends knowing it and being revealed in the story proper, it hasn't been revealed in full yet, so I'll leave it alone for now. I went into it in my Omori video, though, if you want to know more, and quite frankly, I wouldn't have played Omori myself and even made that video if it wasn't for enjoying this mod so much. So, there's proof fan works are helpful. Basil first sees a something in the place of Sunny before not just Sunny is revealed, but Mari's comforting spirit. But a chance for reunions is interrupted by Aubrey and Derpina arriving to share the news that a giant entity is attacking the town. Again, credit due with this cutscene because this little bit impressed me.
I have absolutely no clue what's going on here anymore. I'll just let Derpina explain it.
An entity of a concerning size has begun to invade the town. The best course of action we have is to evacuate all the remaining people.
Wait, remaining?
Yes, there are some that have been taken by the entity in question, and we are trying to find ways to save those who ended up as victims to the anomaly. We need to act quick. Who knows what it'll take next?
I keep mentioning these things not so much because I see it as something to rival major studios or whatever, but more that there's a clear increase in quality as the mod has progressed. This stuff has gotten better because people have supported the mod and Gerber wanted to keep improving himself because of that. Or at least partly because of that. With little time to lose, Kel convinces everyone to pile into a TCF van and have Hero drive them to the villain's lair as two mysterious figures are stalking them through the shadows. I find this song great, and it's unsettling to see how much damage the hive mind attack did, with nearly every other character showing up to try and interfere with the group's efforts, culminating in Derpina herself managing to push through the control of her long enough to encourage the friends to keep going. And it's music like this that shows Gerber knows what he's doing, blending in all the different singers and music, all the cameos, so to speak, with Derpina's part of the song clearly evoking her desperate encouragement even if you can't see or read what's going on. Now, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the shotgun effect being in the song. Sometimes I notice it, sometimes I don't. However, Kel did ask for them to cover him, and judging in Sunny's animation when he does fire the gun, it appears he's unaccustomed to it, and more or less might just be up there trying to use it to scare off the Trollges instead of actually trying to hurt them. Also, it would not surprise me if him riding on top of the van like this was a reference to how the weak singing against Mommy Mirrorist in the original game had boyfriends singing on top of a limousine. And speaking of the original version of Friday Night Funkin', we get cameos from some of the other opponents in the game, which might just be general cameos, or might imply the hive mind has a much farther reach than just Faraway Town. Also, the cutscene leading into this does feel like it's kind of glossing over or missing an opportunity to have the friends react to seeing Mari's ghost after 4 years, but that might be one of two things. First, Cal and the others might have actually known about this, and Cal was just warning Basil to stay back in case it wasn't Sunny. Or things are progressing quickly, as you saw in the cutscene, and they're just not having a lot of time to process things, even when Cal brings up that Sunny and Mari seem to be used to supernatural things. I mean, Cal has always been a character that kind of just rolled with things as they went, but in the end, if there's any shortcomings in this writing of the cutscene, I would be understandable if it just came from a place of wanting to keep the ball rolling and get to the next stuff. Maybe a line or two could have cleared some of this stuff up a little better, but the song is still excellent, and it's the only point in the mod that I'm scratching my head a little. Now, after driving around a bunch, following all the cables that are connecting everybody back to a central location, the story continues with a group of friends entering a cave and finding the facility where the Ringmaster is operating from. And oh boy, did this guy steal the show with his scenes.
I'm just removing the pain brought on by emotion and replacing it all with ecstasy. All your friends are painless now. You wouldn't want to feel left out from them, wouldn't you?
Ringmaster tries to convince them that what he's doing is for the good of humanity, and I'm having a hard time knowing at this point in time if that's actually where his motivations are coming from to get everybody connected to the hive mind, or if he's just stringing them along with a bunch of fake posturing. I'm assuming, after all, that the hive mind is the entity that he's referring to as his master earlier on. And I can imagine that if he really wanted to, he could use the hive mind to just shove some plugs into them or something to possess them, but at this point, he wants some kind of personal satisfaction in beating them. So time for a song. I thought this was really good for a song against the mastermind of things, and Ringmaster's voice is very suitable to himself and the music. Like the song against Legion and Blue Ball's incident himself, this song very clearly presents the threat that this guy has against everybody else, and you get the feeling that they're trying to sing their best against him. Which, on that topic, having each of the Omori characters sing during the song is impressive too. With me getting the idea that after he focuses on Sunny, Ringmaster starts going down the line trying to find which one of them will break, starting with the weaker links first. The friends, however, stay strong. The Omori cast has gone through this mod facing trials and trauma from the Trollges that have made them come out the other side stronger and better. But it looks like this was anticipated by Ringmaster, and in a bright light he teleports them somewhere else, leaving a swirling portal broken into the floor for the two robed figures to come across. I'm finding this reminiscent of the holes left behind in Omori when parts of the game are completed, which in that game lead to deeper sections of headspace in the subconscious of Sunny. So, what's coming next then? Will the mod give us adventures and songs in headspace? Will Omori himself be a part of things? What other cameos and twists does Gerber have planned in Chapter 10? Well, let's continue and... ah, damn, I thought this mod was the final release. Alright, that's fine, actually. I can wait. Wait, cancelled? Okay, now we're going to talk about that note I made earlier in the video about talking about the outdated thing. Now, the information I have comes from a few comments and statements from Gerber himself, and I'll just read one here from the download page of GameJolt. Mod is outdated. I suggest not making any showcase videos on this mod in its current state until the remake comes out. However, if you do want to make a video on this mod, I would suggest adding a disclaimer telling people not to support the current in-game voice actors of Basil, Nene in Act 2, and Cassandra. They are terrible people, and I have since kicked them off the team after I was made aware of their actions. I do not support them, and neither should you. I know about what happened with the voice actor of Basil. I don't know about the Nene and Cassandra voice actor. The only comment I will make is that I am very damn tired of talking about this kind of thing happening, so I won't linger on it too much. I've already gotten on my soapbox about these sorts of issues in my Sonic.exe video, and I don't want to repeat myself. And yes, a part of me does want to take personal umbrage with at least the voice actor of Basil, because he has commented on my channel a couple times in the past. But in the end, it's not my place to get involved, and it's not yours either. Therefore, while it would be disrespectful not to talk about the fact that, because of these bad actors, Gerber had the mod cancelled for about 2 weeks before he changed his mind, in a big way, I'll mention, it would be even more disrespectful to have everything else that's been done with the mod, not just by Gerber, but the entire rest of the team that aren't the bad actors, and have that be overshadowed by this, and make it sound like this controversy is the only thing that should be remembered of it all. Under no circumstances should bad apples ruin the bunch. And it's here that I'm going to make another point as well. I was contacted directly by Gerber to make sure that bringing up the fact that the voice actor of Basil was a bad actor. Why is that important? Because, well, it's not because I'm some big shot important guy. In my opinion, and I think a lot of you will agree with me, it takes a lot of integrity to, when you find out somebody's going to make a video about your project, to seek them out and make sure that even the bad things are known. It's not ignored. It's not forgotten. And Gerber did give me permission to make this video as long as I brought up what happened with the voice actors. To quote him, "It can be done in a short or long section of the video. It just needs to be acknowledged in some way. They are important events that affected the project." And to make it clear, Gerber does not know the majority of what I'm saying here. I only told him that I was going to address the controversy. At first I was actually trying to make this a short section, but I didn't want to forget, ignore, or gloss over what's commendable about how things were approached with this situation, just as much as Gerber wanted to make sure the controversy was addressed in some fashion. Because what I want to try to get clearly across is that I make these videos to speak about and celebrate the merits of the projects and the creators. I want people to be supported for the good they do, and not the bad that happens to them. That's not saying it can't be part of the reason that you support them, but it will always be more productive and better in the end to support them on the positives and the merits. And while this one statement mentioned not making, analysis videos or whatever for the mod, I can't help but disagree with that. Gerber and the rest of the team shouldn't have their hard work screwed over because of this. If we follow through with this and don't make the videos or don't share it with other people, then how do we spread the word about the good parts of it and try to get people to support the work that has been done by the people who should be supported? And to be clear, I did have time scheduled to reach out to Gerber during the creation of this video. However, he got to me first. The thing about challenges is that everything is horrible and terrible and sucks to no end at the start. Going forward is where the true test lies, and how we show everybody else who we really are. And that brings me to what Gerber is doing going forward. Now Gerber is currently in the process of remaking Act 1 and making some small changes to Act 2. Gerber released a video covering a good chunk of Chapter 1, so let's see what's different so far. Generally speaking, everything that we see is more or less Gerber and the rest of the team is showing us what they've learned and what their talents have improved to be. However, I do want to bring notice to the fact that Sunny is handling the knife differently from the original version. Or at least how I see it. Now, the original game of Omori, Sunny is a little messed up in the head and sees using a knife as an okay thing to do. However, for reasons that I'm not sure I can explain in the story right now, because I don't know if anything's going to change, this updated version of Sunny is now showing a sort of trepidation and uncomfortableness with handling the knife. Now, if the story of the mod doesn't change from what I've read on the wiki, at least in terms of what's happening inside Headspace, Yes, I'm leaving this nebulous in case A, something changes, and B, not to spoil anything in the future. Then I believe this is a major hint of something that will be revealed about Sunny's headspace later on. Or if it's unexplained in the mod itself, something that I will bring up in the future. Also, the writing for Boyfriend changes slightly, but in a possibly important way. In the original Blue Balls incident, Boyfriend and Girlfriend tried to keep the rap battle going with Smiler by antagonizing him with quoting online memes. In the original version of Act 1, Boyfriend was kind of doing this as well, but now he seems to drop that aspect and act more as a professional agent, trying to at least keep other people out of what's about to happen. All in all, a very promising look at what the update's going to give us, and very much makes me look forward to the remake. And in the process of making this analysis video, Gerber released a new video that showed that there's apparently going to be a voice actress for Kim now, that adds lines to a cutscene leading into the second week, as well as also helping clarify these chapters are more or less taking place a week apart of each other.
There's something going on with Aubrey. She hasn't been acting like herself recently, and today she didn't even show up. Can someone check on her? I need to know if she's okay.
Again, if this is a sign of things to come in terms of the quality and the expansion to the story and characters in the mod, then it just makes me look forward to it even more. And with that, we only have the new Freeplay Songs to look into, with some of them, once more, having stories of their own, but also continuing side stories from previous updates. To start with, Mathematical Madness. Yes, that's Baldi, but I'm not really into Baldi's basics. Sorry. However, it does turn out that Trollge, named Syra? I'm going with Syra. Is actually canon to the mod's main storyline. Syra is a computer virus Trollge that got into some random computer way off somewhere else during the events of the mod, explaining why its victims were first the Doki Doki Literature Club in Atypical, and now showing up in Baldi's Basics. And as I was alluding to, don't expect Syra to have a place in the actual main storyline of the mod, because he's doing all this at the same time as the mod storyline, but it's apparently completely unconnected and just off somewhere else. Also, you'll probably notice that some of Syra's sprite animations have the victims from Doki Doki Literature Club appearing from inside the static mass that counts as his body. A definitely creepy way to show how the story's continuing and connected. It's a pretty good song, but speaking of canonical events, we have Another Trip to Hell. Iridophobia has presumably the trolls that went after Aubrey facing down Blue from Rainbow Friends. It's some Roblox multiplayer horror game. That's pretty much all I know about it. Now this song specifically isn't actually as bad as the other Trollge's Being Punished in Hell songs, and that's not a high bar to get over, but even at their worst, there was still a structure and a rhythm to the songs. And I mean, I alluded to the songs being bad, and that's purposeful on Gerber's part. However, also in Hell is the Pursuit alternate universe Hero, in the song, Mari slaps the shit out of Hero. Okay, hilarious setup and all, but it is a really fun song and really fun to listen to. I just frickin' love those expressions on Mari's face. Of course, now this is making me wonder if that Chris Rock slap mod I mentioned was worth looking into. No, still not looking into it. Also, there's no further songs so far that link to them, but I'll bring it up here The Deltarune song and Yume Nikki song from the previous updates to the mod take place in an alternate universe or timeline of the mod, where apparently the Ringmaster invaded those worlds instead of Faraway Town. Speaking of Trollges invading other universes, let's visit one that's invading the wrong universe.
What?
Hi.
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing in my house?
Shit, I entered the wrong universe. Doesn't matter, because I'm gonna kill you anyways.
Soyaphobia. This is non-canon and an obvious joke, but I love the idea that some cartoonishly stupid trolls tries to get in on the action, and winds up in the Omori Boy blog that went on to inspire and become the Omori game. Like someone going back in time and going too far back. Now I believe that just leaves us 3 songs in the free play for this update, and one of them's purely joke entry that Gerber put in, as he did for some of the other ones. So there really isn't much to say about it. The other 2 songs, however, are Bathmophobia and Recursed. Bathmophobia I really like, except for the middle section when things get a little goofy and purposefully desynced. I know this is referencing something, but I'm completely ignorant of what that is. And again, Gerber likes doing these little joke things in the songs for the free play. However, even including that part, this is still definitely one worth a listen to. Finally, there's Recursed. A remix of a song of the same name in something called Versus Dave and Bambi, and comes off as an alternate boss song for Ringmaster. And I do mean boss song. This one is a really rough song to play, and definitely feels like Ringmaster isn't playing around and going full force at the characters. And from here, the wait begins. From what I can gather, Chapter 10 will not be released until after the Act 1 and Act 2 remakes are done. I can't wait, but I guess I'm gonna have to. Now from here on, while I will share updates about this project on my community tab, I'm going to wait until the actual full, complete version of it is finished. That's going to be, all the remade acts and the final Chapter 10. However, I do strongly recommend that instead of waiting for me to say something, go follow Gerber on his channel and his Twitter to keep up to date. And in fact, recently he has created a separate YouTube account, and always has had a separate Twitter account, specifically for the Trollge Files X Omori. But don't follow his channel just for updates on this project. Gerber has numerous other music and art updates about just random things, even not tied to Friday Night Funkin' mods of any sort. And if you want to hear a little more music from this mod, there's a few remixes that have been done. Picomori, a member of the team that also worked on some of the animations, also made a remix of Asthenophobia, as well as the boss theme Teehee Time from Omori itself. And they have shared an original song of their own making on YouTube. Imagine Man, another member of the team, has a ton of the instrumentals from the mod, as well as a bunch of their own things to see. And finally, here's an incredible remix of Manumission by Theory of Everything, who sounds really familiar, but I looked around and I can't figure out why. They do have a lot of music and remixes on their channel as well, though, so definitely check them out. No, seriously, where the hell did I hear that name before? As I said before, though, everyone that worked on this mod deserves your support and attention, and I very much look forward to the full release of everything, especially after listening to the Chapter 10 songs repeatedly on Gerber's channel. I guess we'll see what happens first. This mod's full release, Malicious Bunny finishing Mad and Hopeless, or the full version of Friday Night Funkin' itself. In the meantime, I guess I can look at some of the other mods about Trollges or Omori. Might not make a video about them, but still, I mean, I like this stuff, I might as well give them a chance too. And if you're interested in them, there's Versus Omori, and for the Trolls side of things, there's Friday Night Incident and Funkin' Physics. And the plethora of original and fan-made content for both Omori and the Trollge meme. I mean, as an open-ended idea and concept, the Trollge meme and idea is still a very fertile ground, with plenty of untapped ideas and interesting things to do with it. And wait a minute, this isn't part of any of the mods I talked about. What is this? What the hell is that? And now, a special message for Gerber and other creators out there.
You're still young, you have your entire career ahead of you. Retirement is something you're supposed to experience when you're old. I don't want you to experience it too early. How's about we return to that stage and sing some old tunes to brighten the mood?